This episode features honest conversations about life experiences, including sensitive topics. Please be aware that our discussions may touch on mature themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Good day, everyone. My name is Janelle, and I'm in my mid-20s. I'm from Edo State, and particularly Asan. So I was born on the 1st of April, and I am a beauty technician, a nail technician, digital artist, and entrepreneur. I also love to read a good book. I like acting, and I love music. Plus, I am really good with my hands and very creative. Thank you.
Welcome to Answers for Gen Z, the podcast that helps you navigate Gen Z struggles and offers clarity in the chaos. It is the go-to podcast for young, curious, and forward-thinking minds. Join me as we dive into the real issues affecting Gen Z. I am your host, Osakpọlọ. Every episode, we tackle a new topic with a series of curated questions and feature the insightful answers from our diverse AFGZ contributors. I'll be chiming in for context, guidance, and some personal perspective. In today's episode, we are exploring the power of friendship and its role in navigating uni challenges and life in general. This episode's contributors share stories that will make you feel seen, heard, and maybe even a little nostalgic. Bethel, Ivie, Presley, Israel, and Janelle open up about their friendships and provide you with answers on the topic. I know you want it. Let's get answers. Some people tend to go through uni alone and they miss out on one of the important parts of the uni experience, the friendships they make along the way. And just like the variety of courses we have to offer in school, these relationships, our friends, help us in diverse ways. Some uni friendships tend to last till after graduation or for a lifetime. Some friends offer a sense of community. Others enable a safe place for you to live out your passions and idiosyncrasies. Others, like your BFFs, are the best cheerleaders and confidants you could ever ask for. And if you wish to go intimate, there are even more special friends, if you know what I mean. While all of these exist, it is not to say that some of these friends, or rather friendships, might have flaws. There are friends who just want to take, cannot give. Some are emotionally unavailable. Other friends are irreverent. That is, they do not know how to be serious and make fun of everything, which could sometimes be very annoying. The very first question I asked the contributors aims to understand the context in which meaningful friendships are formed and explores the role of different environments in fostering authentic connections. I believe uni is one of these environments, but let's hear what the contributors have to say. Which environment do you think has fostered the most authentic and lasting friendships for you? Is it secondary school? Is it church? Is it primary school or even the university? Choose one and share a brief story about why you think that's where you have found true friends that will stand the test of time.
It's definitely university. I did not have friends in church. Primary school, I cannot remember them. Secondary school, I thought my secondary school friends were. I thought it was very solid until we had to go to different unis. And fortunately for me, my friends are not very great communicators. So, but we're still friends though. I have a lot of stories. Okay, I don't know. When you're just in a tight spot and you just know that my friends got my back no matter what. Cannot really find or think about a story, but something like that. But I feel like this one will stand. Yeah, this one. I think I found my true friends that will stand the test of time.
My closest friends are from secondary school and they've been with me the longest. We've been with each other really And in university, though, I've made a few friends as well, and well, they've also been there for me. I'm not even going to lie. But let me pick the secondary school one and share a story. So when we were leaving secondary school, a lot of people said, "No, have as much fun as you can now because once you leave this place, you guys are not going to be friends anymore. Just give yourself like a year or two." And well, it's things that they have gone through. So I felt, well, whatever happens, happens. But it's been a number of years and we're still friends, turn up for each other. It's a beautiful thing. Friendship is a beautiful thing. I've had cases where I would be feeling down and almost lost, and there's always one of my friends there for me, like just to listen to me talk, and it's really important to me. And there's sometimes when you're going through some things and it's almost like they know that you're going through this and they help you without you even asking.
When we're talking about authenticity, so I think it will be secondary school because I don't think there were back then there was no like forming or anything, just or trying to pretend to someone that you are not, just real friendship with your normal slippers and your rough dressing and all that, but still the friendship was there, the play was there, everything. No one was trying to pretend that they are bigger than this guy. So I think in secondary schools where I formed authentic friendships.
My secondary school though, because most of my friends from secondary school, I think three, we are still talking and we go way back. I mean, the loyalty is like top notch. Universities though, I didn't attend a university. I'm attending a nursing school, so I can't really say. But the friends I've made so far, I can't really say they'll be lasting because they haven't been put to test yet. You feel like the friendship I made in secondary school would last longer and they are the most authentic. It's the fact that the kind of person who I don't fancy internet fraud. Like in Benin City now, you realize that most guys are into internet fraud, and I'm not the kind of guy who's really that wired to think like that. Yeah. So, but most of my friends are into it and all of that. But regardless that I'm not into internet fraud, and whenever they try to say they want to put me on, I don't mean these are like big guys who are like bought cars, build houses. They are into the wrong game and all of that. But they have even offered to put me on, and I'm like, nah, don't worry, I don't. It's not just my thing. And he didn't criticize me for it. I'm funny enough, I'm still a brokey, and they have not even said, okay, because we tried to offer you a way out and you didn't take it because it didn't suit the kind of person you are. We are not going to. We are going to start treating you differently and all. Nah, I mean, we go out like they cover the bills, and it's just like as if I'm still in the same level. Like they never treated me wrong or stepped to me wrong because they had money and they had houses and cars, and I'm not even amounted to anything at the point. You get the idea. They just treated me the same way with the same respect. And it has just been like that from beginning. Even sometimes whenever I ask them for financial assistance, they don't even budge. They just do it like without even asking silly questions and all of that. I mean, they are the realest because they know that I'm not the kind of person who would compromise scamming someone to make money. So they already made their peace with it, and they just treat me like someone who's in the same level with them financially and with experience and all of that, even if I'm not.
I'd say for me, it was secondary school, but it was more like intertwined because I knew her from secondary school. Then we ended up going to the same university, even though it wasn't planned. And if it's going to stand the test of time, I think um, it's going to be based on our personalities as individuals, not because we're having a relationship, but because we are just the people that we are, right? As we evolve each and every day, we become better. Of course, we have quarrels and misunderstandings and stuff, but the ability to actually fix these things is what would make it stand the test of time. The ability to grow, to want to listen to corrections, to want to evolve with each passing moment is what is generally going to make it stand the test of time.
Most of them said secondary school, and I get it, those were good times. However, we are still talking about uni friendship. So, what's the most memorable moment you have shared with a friend in university so far?
Is is being drunk a memorable moment? Because I've shared that with my friends and it was fun. We really got to know what we were feeling about each other, because we're under the influence of alcohol. You cannot really stop yourself from lying or saying the truth, so you just have to say the truth. So yeah.
This question just made me realize how boring I am. Okay, so the only thing I can think of right now is for the last semester's exam. So a friend of mine and myself, we usually do this thing where we teach each other what we know before the exam, and it was a lot. It was fun. It was helpful. Before I sound like so much of a geek, I also had times when I actually had fun with my friends, like real life fun. But it was mostly in my room. Just have a little get together, music, food, games, gist, hot gist, and sometimes it could be maybe a party. So
I don't have too much friends, but the one I've shared is probably with you. You know, especially and when you give me food, or when we cook. Yes, when you cook for me in in hostel. So even when I don't have food, sometimes I add. So even when I don't have, you still give me, you still provide food for me. I'll say, like, even though sometimes I say, yeah, the food is not sweet and that, but I appreciate those moments.
I think it was in church, and we had this conference, this worship conference, tagged Glow, Greater Levels of Worship, and it was just awesome. It was really just awesome. I can't go into details because that's a lot to unpack. But yeah, that's the most memorable moment I've had with my friend.
You see, it's important for us to think back and remember these moments to cultivate deeper connections and gratitude for these memories. Cherishing fond memories can provide comfort and warmth, especially during difficult times, and helps you identify what matters most in friendships and what you value. The third question I asked: how do you balance academics and social life with your friends?
Who's balance? Who said we balanced it? Balance? I don't even know, but it's just from the beginning of the semester till close to exam period. we vibe and have our social life to the fullest. Then exam period, we will not have academic time. We will not read. Well, to me, that's balanced enough. I beg.
sometimes I realize how much of a boring person I am because there's nothing much to even balance. I feel like my social life is actually suffering and I need help.
I don't really think my social life is high as some other people, and my academics. Well, I think, to be honest, studying is very hard. Studying is hard. So let's not act like okay, I'm really focused on the academics. The academic is hard. Even me, I struggle too, but I still try my best.
I balance it very well. It is very easy for me to grasp academics, meaning I don't have to read something like 500 times before getting the hang of it. I can read it 2-3 times or even once, and I'm done with it. It sticks. So I'm not really struggling academically. So I can actually just go out and play and have fun with my friends. And majority of my friends are also in the same spectrum, academic spectrum as me too. I mean, we don't really struggle academically. We read with little time and cover like quite a lot.
I never really struggled with my academics. It never really just got to me. I don't know why. It was always just easy for me. So there was not really much stress on balancing academics, even though at a point in time I felt like I wasn't doing so well anymore. But I buckled up and went back to days. My social life, I don't really have a social life because I'm more like a ghost. I'm basically an introvert. Yeah, I don't like gatherings. I don't like all of those things. But I made it a point of contact this year that I am going to go for events. I'm going to volunteer for so many programs and stuff. So, yeah, I have that going for me. And with my friends actually have the same goals and visions as I do. Most of us attend the same church, so it is easy to navigate the friendship that way because whatever I'm doing, you're doing. Whatever event I'm going for, you're also going for. Yeah, so it's more like a collective thing with my friends. I don't have friends that are going another direction while I'm going another direction. In that case, you have to balance a lot of things, but there's not really much of balancing for me because everything is always pushing in one direction.
I think balancing academics and social life in university is crucial because it allows you to nurture your mind and your relationships simultaneously. When you are solely focused on academics, you can burn out quickly and miss out on valuable experiences that help you grow as a person. On the other hand, if you are too invested in your social life, your grades might suffer and you might fall behind. However, with the way my school is going and how crazy the calendar is, I'll probably have to miss out on those valuable experiences. It's beyond crazy, Uniben. Anyway, by finding a balance, you can excel in your studies while also building meaningful connections with friends. It's about being intentional with your time and prioritizing what's important. Maybe that means setting aside dedicated blocks of time for studying and then scheduling social activities around those blocks. Mind you, last episode, we discussed how scheduling helps for effective time management. Please listen to it after this episode. It's also important to remember that your friends can actually help you stay accountable and motivated academically. You can form study groups, quiz each other, or even just provide moral support during exam season. And when you do take breaks and socialize, you will come back to your studies refreshed and focused. One thing most people tend to forget is university is a time to explore your interests, develop skills, and discover who you are outside of the classroom. Like one of my aunts would say, this is the time and place you build relationships that will be beneficial to you. Make good friends and show kindness in little ways. You never know who these friends turn out to be. Some of them may even turn out to be the president. You never can tell. I'm not saying this should be the reason for forming these connections, but you get my drift. Balancing academics and social life helps you create a more holistic, enjoyable, and fulfilling experience that sets you up for success in all areas of life. The contributors' answers to my very next question was an eye-opener for me and helped me in handling something I neglected for months. I asked, Have you ever had a falling out with a friend in uni? How did you resolve it?
Of course, a lot of times over dumb shit, yeah. Oh, resolving it is always easy because we're very quick to say we're sorry. I just go, I'm sorry, and they're sorry, and or somebody will just cook food, come and eat. I'm not the vex again.
Thinking about it makes me sad, really. I actually did. I actually did. I can't even speak about resolution right now because I've not been able to resolve the issue. I deep down I hope that it's it's resolved, but you know things like this takes two parties to actually agree.
Yeah, I had a falling on one of my friends. I think his name is Siri. We both we're both in the same, well, like we're classmates, and the guy actually has a way of treating people around. I don't really know. I think he was sick one time, and I tried. He was in the hospital. I tried visiting him, and when I got there, he was act like he didn't. I knew he didn't feel happy to see me. He was looking at me like I did something so like so fucked up and all that. His countenance towards me changed. Like he couldn't wait to see me getting out or something. So when I got back home the next day, I was like, "Ah." I also talked to a friend of mine too because we're like three in the circle was like three. So I spoke to the other guy. I was like, I went to visit Siri in the hospital. Look at his reaction and all of that. It got to a point, it was as if I was trying to be so nice to him while he kept on acting cold. And I'm like, dude, you're not a girl, come on. So I just decided to chill. And when I did chill, I forgot about his birthday and I just blotted him out of my memory like that. Because that kind of person I am, whenever I just want to let go, it like everything off. Guys started having issues and it was like, oh, I'm not a real G and all of that. Funny enough, I was like, dude, look at what you did. You pushed me away. Nick. Stop acting like I'm just the person who just decided to just forget about you completely and all of that. Then again, that's all good.
Okay, if I'm going to say the issue, it's going to be a little more, TMI, too much information here because it's a lot, right? But I did something actually, the fault was actually from me, right? So I did something to trigger her. And when I say trigger, I mean something that she has dealt with in the past before, one of her, hidden traumas, which I didn't even know. So I in my head I was like, this thing cannot be what's making you so angry, but I didn't know that it was a backstory. So yes, we had that fallout. And how did I resolve it? Well, I just kept pushing. When I realized that it was actually my fault and I said some things that I shouldn't have, I reached out to her. Of course, she did not just take me back. I don't want to use take me back. That sounds like a relationship. Okay, but we didn't just settle after, just one conversation because I'm the flexible one in the relationship here. She's more rigid, right? So I was the one reaching out. I was the one trying to call her. And at the time, she just, succumbed and we were good.
The two experiences that stood out to me was Israel's and Janelle's. I'll tell you why. And then I'll share mine. So, like Israel, there are friendships that go sour for seemingly no reason at all. And it sounds like Israel tried his best to have it resolved or try to understand what's going on, but it didn't work out. For such situations, I think it's important you take the cue and just let it go. Janelle's case, on the other hand, is a little bit similar to mine. And I would say that sometimes it's hard, but it's vital that the moment you do realize that it's your fault, you apologize and talk about it. In my case, I felt I was the one who was being wronged, and instead of talking about the issue with my friend, I thought I could endure it until I couldn't anymore. And I ended up handling it very, very poorly. Yes, I ghosted them. I eventually became the one giving an apology. We talked about the things that led to my very unreasonable decision and came to a mutual compromise, and we are much better now. You see, we've read about communicating our feelings and apologizing. We've heard it numerous times. We've read it in books. We've seen it in movies. But what happens when we are faced with these situations in real life? Do we remember to actually practice and apply this knowledge? Wisdom is not all about gathering knowledge in your head, but actually practicalizing these things in real time, applying these things when they do matter or when it's necessary. We are now in a society that preaches cutting people off for the most inconsequential reasons, and we often end up ruining genuine connections because of our egos. Sometimes it's difficult to have these conversations with someone we feel has wronged us. I understand that's how we're brought up, not to have those hard conversations or apologize, but that's not healthy, and we need to do better. We have to do better. Even if they don't respond, it's good that you have taken the initiative to clear your conscience and extend an olive branch. Take pride in that and prioritize your own emotional well-being. Don't take it personally and don't assume, avoid assumptions, and practice self-compassion. That brings me to question 5. What qualities do you value most in a friend, and how do you cultivate those relationships?
I value loyalty and honesty. I don't really, as a friend, I believe I don't really have to know, everything that's going on in your life. I don't need to know about all your business. But if you are going to tell me something about you or about your life, it has to be the truth, because I did not force you to tell me, so don't lie about it. You get? So honesty and loyalty. I need to know that my friend has got my back no matter what, because I've got you. So if you don't show me that, I don't see the point in even being my friend, because I have a lot of people that I can talk to. It's not just talking. I need to know that you got me. The same way I got you.
I like a friend who is considerate, considerate, caring. Those are the two things that came up on top of my head. The things that I would expect from a friend, I try to exhibit those traits as well. So I try my best to usually consider the person. If I'm going to buy a pen, I'll probably buy two. If I happen to know about something, I will always try to share the information. Being caring, listening to them when they have something to rant about, giving them a shoulder to cry on when they're sad. Just basically sharing in their joy and sorrows.
I don't like people who are very arrogant and just like unkept and not well trained at home. You can just tell by their behavior and all that. So I think that if you're a good guy and you're pretty chill, I think yes, that's what I like in my friendship. And I don't like people who hold grudges. Yeah. If you are gonna be the friend that hold grudges against me for any little thing, or maybe remind me of any little thing I did, and you want me to apologize every single time, I'm like, okay, no wahala, no need again, no need. I've tried. I don't. Those kind of friendship is not sweet at all.
And loyalty is something, it goes two ways, a two-way street, meaning that I have to show loyalty for you to show me loyalty. I respect you, so I need you to respect me. So definitely, I show you loyalty and I show you respect. And in return, I just want you to show me that the same, or give me that same courtesy.
First off, honesty. Yeah, I'm really keen on honesty. Just don't lie to me. That's basically it. Then I would say number two, selflessness, because I'm a very selfless person and it burns me so bad when I see selfish people. It just gets me, right? When I see that you're stingy or you're selfish or you're only thinking about yourself and all, it annoys me so much, right? So when I want to get a friendship, when I'm in a relationship, a friendship relationship, what I go after, basically what I look at you in a person is number one, honesty, and number two, selflessness. Every other thing can be compromised, but you see, honesty and selflessness is something I can't compromise on, because those are the two things that's going to help me establish trust. How do I cultivate these relationships? Okay, I model it first to them, so it doesn't feel like I'm saying do what I do. I mean, do what I say, don't do what I do. Yes, do what I say, don't do what I do. That's not me. Yeah, if I want something from you, I will first model it to you. The selflessness I want you to have, I will first shower you with gifts, with love, with attention, and everything that I can. That's just me. When I'm in a relationship, be it friendship, be it romantic, I usually, pour all of myself into that person. So that's me modeling it to you, that the fact that I can do it, you can also try to reciprocate, because that's the only way I'll be able to thrive in any relationship. So yeah, that's what I basically do. I model it to you so that you can see that it can be done. Number six, how do I think social media affects friendships in university?
I am not a very active person on social media, so I don't have a lot to say about this. But the fact that social media exists at all can help with the friendship. Like Snapchat now, keeping streaks. Well, a lot of people have stuff to say about it, but keeping streaks for me with my friends who is a way of keeping in touch, and I think it's nice.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You know now. You know when is that bad that they are even talking to you and you're not even responding. That's how bad social media can be sometimes. You'll be like, hello, bro, yeah, sorry, what did you say? What did you say? Even you do it too. You do it too. Sometimes I'll be talking to you, you will not even answer me. You're focused on your phone and on Twitter. Even sometimes I will show you one small thing, just take and read. Before you know, you are scrolling through my phone, you are scrolling through my Twitter. Say guy, just read this one thing now. I think it's more of negative than positive, to be honest.
Social media tend to get into people's head. Yeah, they tend to get into people. They tend to shape people ideology about life and certain things. So your friend that basically shared the same view with you, after some months, might have a different opinion and orientation about a certain matter that both of you once agreed on. You get me? Someone who's so susceptible to changes that can be that can be like social media originated. It definitely would affect your friendship if you have a friend like that. Someone who's social media oriented and who believes everything they see on social media, or whom social media dictates their behaviors and personality.
Social media has not really been my take of, majority. Just that it's just something by the wayside. I'm not glued to my phone. I'm not basically Gen Z, so I'm not glued to my phone. I'm not always concerned about what's going on the internet and stuff. So with my sorry with my relationships and my friendships and whatever, even in the university, I find myself more of visiting them, going to their houses, just showing up and going on friendship dates and everything. Just go out, have fun, go to church together and everything. It's more about physical communion for me. I can't really say much about social media because I'm not a social media freak.
Social media, as you know, has its pros and cons here. However, it has completely transformed the way we experience friendships in university. I mean, on one hand, It's amazing how seamlessly you can stay connected with friends who are studying abroad or who you might not see every day. You can catch up, share your experiences, your thoughts, and your feelings with each other and feel like you are still close, even if you are not physically together. But on the other hand, social media can also create this false sense of connection. You might think you are close with someone because you follow each other on Instagram or share memes on WhatsApp or because you like each other's posts. But in reality, you might not be having those deep conversations or sharing your true feelings with each other. And then there is the pressure to present this perfect online persona or the assumptions in character we make because of a friend's post on social media. Some people write or post so intellectually on WhatsApp, and when you decide to engage in a conversation with them, sometimes based on what they've posted at that particular time, they turn out to be a shadow of whatever they are posting about. You might even feel like you need to share your highlight reels, accomplishments, and fun experiences, and that can create this sense of competition among friends. You might feel like you need to keep up with each other, or like you are in this constant state of comparison. I think the key in all of this is to find a balance. Use social media to enhance our friendships, but not replace them. Make our time for face-to-face connections and meaningful relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what truly matters. Not how many likes, views, or followers we have, except you're a brand or something. That's another topic, but how many people can we turn to when life gets tough? Have you joined any clubs or organizations that helped you meet new friends? What was that experience like?
Personally, I'm not one to just join clubs and organizations. I feel like it's a lot of stress, but I find myself going through that kind of stress most of the time. But mostly as a volunteer. I volunteer for a lot of things like outreaches and what did I just say? Outreaches and stuff. It was an outreach we went for to a secondary school, and well, I usually have a habit of speaking to maybe the person sitting by me in an event or whatever. So I spoke to him and we talked. All those, oh, where are you from? What secondary school did you attend? Sharing this experience and that experience. And then we became friends, and he's my friend now. And I honestly just pray for his well being anytime I think about him.
I'm planning on joining JCI, but I don't really think I will anyways.
No, not really. Like I said, I'm an introvert, and usually when I join these things, when I join clubs, when I join organizations and stuff, when I volunteer for stuff, I am basically on my own. I like being on my own, and I just find it peaceful, right? To just be on your own, do your things the way you want to do them, right? Because peopling can be difficult. I'm not saying I can't people. I definitely can people, but I choose not to. But I'm trying to get out of my shell, and yeah, that's it basically. So with that, there is no experience, as I don't really have that. Okay, there was supposed to be an experience, but I ended up missing it because I had a doctor's appointment that day. So it was an art gallery, an art fair. I actually volunteered for the program. I had designed for them. I had put out ads and all. But when the D-Day came, I actually had to leave the city to go for my doctor's appointment.
When you're in school, clubs and organizations like Israel mentioned, JCI, is a fantastic way to expand your social circle and form meaningful friendships. You might be wondering how you can make friends. Okay, see, this is a great way to break out of your comfort zone, meet new people, and bond over a shared or common interest. It could be a shared love for music, art, or even specific sports. This creates a strong foundation for friendship that might not have been formed otherwise. It also gives you a sense of belonging and identity and the feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself. Even more important, you get to add value to your life, develop important social skills like teamwork, communication, and of course, leadership. However, you might get too fixated on making friends that you forget about yourself. So, how do you prioritize self care and personal growth while maintaining friendships?
Okay, this is peculiar to every individual and the dynamics that exist in their friendship. But for me, health I was about to say healthcare. Self-care is self-care is already itself a priority because I'm going to have to take care of myself before I can even think about friendship or something. And I don't mean to say that in a selfish way, but I see self care as something that I have to do to be a better person for the people that I love, right? So we're talking about personal hygiene, um, emotional intelligence kind of thing. Like I take care of myself enough to be able to take care of my friends and family, but since we're talking about friends. So I think it's very important. In personal growth, I read once in a while I may read a book, and if I'm reading that book, most times my friends are going to know that I'm reading a book. While it is important to take care of yourself, once in a while you can also try to incorporate your friends into what you're doing. You don't have to force them to do it. You can just say, "Oh, I got this book. It's really nice. I think you should read it. I'm trying out this routine." Like the things that you do for yourself, you can also try to encourage your friends to do them as long as it's about self-care and personal growth, and I think it's fine.
For me, basically, I take out time to reset. I just draw, withdraw. And before I do, I tell my friends, I tell the people that I love, okay, this is what I want to do. For so and so time, you'll not be able to get me. You'll not be able to reach me, right? Because I'm going for a reset. It's like a rehabilitation for me. It's just to shut down the noise. It's an avenue for me to just breathe, right? I'm going to tell them that, okay, I don't just disappear, right? I will inform them, give them a heads up before I do disappear. Right, so that's how I maintain my self-care. I spoil myself. I know how that sounds, but yes, I do spoil myself because naturally, like I said, I'm usually in I'm way too in relationships, right? I tend to give my all. So once I'm in a relationship, but a friendship, romantic, anything, I just everything that I'm doing I need to include you. Yes, because I have this mothering and nurturing nature. So I just have to include you. But when I'm going for my rehabilitation, I just spoil myself, go to the spa, you know, take myself out, anything that I feel like I want to eat, maybe cravings or anything, I actually will get them for myself because me first. I can't love others without loving myself first. So the goal is, you know, keeping up the spark with your love life, the love life that involves just you and you.
Can you share a time when a friend supported you through a difficult moment at university?
Every day of my life in this university is difficult. So every time I'm with my friends, they don't even know it. They're helping me through that moment without even doing a lot, just by talking, gisting, bantering ourselves. It's helping my mental health already because every single time is difficult in university. But so being with them has eased up my stress a lot. So thank you, my friends.
There was this time when I was campaigning for an election where I was contesting for treasurer, and I was tired. At a point, I was overwhelmed. There was a particular day I came back late, and all I wanted to do was just cry. And my friends were there, and they encouraged me. And it went a long way because it gave me strength to continue. Because the election was there, I also had to run my business, I also had to be a student. So it was really life-saving that I had friends, because sometimes you may not be able to cook for yourself, but you will eat because you have friends. Sometimes you may not be able to read the whole coursework, but you will still know what to do because you have friends.
I would say Osakpọlọ, the one and only, the real G. Yes, like I said, food stuff is a number one problem. If you know, you know. Food stuff is a number one problem. And anytime I come to your hostel, I know that whether you're angry or not, food must fall out. That's just what I'll say. And oh, yes, I remember now. I remember now. When I was sick. Yes, when I was sick. I even vomited. You remember now? I was very sick. I vomited. My roommates could not help me. Nobody. Everyone was just sitting down, chilling, looking at me. I had to call you. Then you gave me food and all that. Like, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah, friends supported me through a difficult moment. First was when I kind of like impregnated the girl. I'm not impregnated though. I'm actually a father, a single father though. So when I first heard the news that the girl I slept with delivered a baby girl for me, that was the most top moment of my life. So because I was scared out of my wits. I mean, a baby, because I wasn't aware like this shit happened. Like it was a one night stand, that kind of thing. And then she told me she was pregnant. I was like, nah, I don't really believe that shit. And then it got to a point she stopped complaining. I'm like, okay, fine, possibly it was a prank and everything. Then 9 months later, boom, she calls me and says she's delivered. And I do a DNA test and everything, and I discover it's mine. And school is fucked up for me because I don't even know how to break it out to my parents. I'm in the middle of exams and all of that. So I confided in a friend, and it really helped me. Really helped me. Like he made me, like my mind came down, like my mind became stable. I could focus. I could write the exams, and I passed. And everything in general was just great. So he told me it was not the end of life. Now I can't go into the details now, but it really came through for me. I mean, he even went to the what do you call it, dedication with me. He stood every single way.
I had this bad breakup one time. It was terrible. It wasn't really a breakup because it was more like a situationship, maybe. So the guy had ghosted, and I felt really bad because, like I said, I give all of me, right? And I felt like what didn't I do right? I was asking myself a lot of questions. I was overthinking. I was burning out, and then I had this friend, and she came around, and it was late, like we're talking about past 10 to 11. I called her up, we're talking. I didn't know that as we're talking, she was actually walking to my house. She came, I was crying, and she was holding me through it, right? And throughout those periods, she was there. At a point, she packed to come and stay in my house, to live with me for that particular period of time because I was a mess, a complete mess. So yeah, she really, really supported me through that time. And yeah, it's just something we do for each other. Basically, I do for all my friends. So one thing that I find with relationships is that when you model something to them, it's usually reciprocated if the person's head is on the ground. It's usually reciprocated, because if I was in that same situation, if she was in that same situation, sorry, I would have done it and even more for her.
Let's give it up for real friendships. Yo, these stories, They remind me of Proverbs 18:24, which says, "Some friends don't help or are unreliable, but a true friend sticks closer than a brother or one owns family." It warms my heart that they have experienced love in friendship so much.
How do I navigate different friend groups and maintain relationships across different social circles?
I don't have much friends, so I don't really navigate any friend groups or all that. I have only few friends.
The people in my inner circle are very small. I just, I've learned to define relationships. People are my acquaintances, they're my colleagues, they're my schoolmates, they're my ex-classmates, just when you define the relationships here, not everybody's your friend. When you define them, you'll notice that you don't really have a lot of friend groups. You really don't. Yeah, you just know people. Yeah, so people that you're close to, or you're just, we vibe, right? Those circles are probably in church, in my workplace, my clients, and, my inner circle now, and then family. Yeah. Maintaining relationships across them is actually very easy for me because I don't give all of them the same preference. All of them are not as important as all of them. If you know, you know, right? I've been able to scale them according to the level of priority. There are people that I need to call every day, if not there'll be war. There are people that, in fact, in 6 months, we can just talk once and then we'll be fine. No bad blood, nothing. Yeah, but it's just according to how important they are or how strong our relationship is or our friendship is or any of that.
Honestly, navigating different friend groups and the relationships can be very challenging, but this can help. First, prioritize open communication and honesty. Be transparent about your relationships with others and avoid gossip or comparisons. It doesn't have to be TMI or necessary, especially if the friends in these different circles do not know each other. Respect boundaries and make out time for these friends. Balance your social calendar. Be yourself while at it. Stay authentic. Your unique identity is what makes your friendship special and meaningful. Don't be pressured to change who you are to fit into different groups. Now, question 11. What does the concept of ride or die mean to you in the context of university friendships?
Like I said, it's just loyalty. You may ride or die. You have to have my back. That's what it means. Because I have yours. It's just loyalty that to me, university friendship. Yeah, in that context is loyalty.
I think it has to do with standing for your friend, standing by your friend, no matter what. If a situation arises where you cannot be a ride or die in quotes and you would have to make a decision to save yourself instead of like endangering yourself for a friend, if that situation ever should come, I think you should weigh your options. If you want to stand up for your friend when the person is being bullied, then do that. I think wisdom is profitable to direct actually.
Hey, this rider with that own, I not do. He never reach like that. I've not gotten to that point. I can help or be there when my power reach, but this ride or die. Oh, bro, calm.
Ride or die is somebody who is there with you through thick and thin, right? Who loves you even at your worst, right? And I've had that kind of friendship before. And of course, I met her in the university. I knew her before then, actually, but we became friends in the university. So when I say somebody's my ride or die, like I said, the person is there to support you, to love you through anything whatsoever, right? And the fact that the person is in the university with you because usually university is accustomed with a lone life, like you're not started seeing life, because secondary school you're still under your parents' roof and all. So the ride or die that's there for you in the university, when you have no one else, when you don't have the mommy that's looking at you or the daddy that's taking care of you, right? You have this ride or die. It serves as a support system to you, like a huge support system. Trust me. That's why a lot of people have found sisters and brothers in people that they never even knew would become, right? They just say, okay, I found my sister from another mother, or I found my brother from another mother. That's just how it is, basically. So your ride or die is the person that can, basically give everything up for you, who would support you and love you through thick or thin, who would, make sure that your name is protected behind closed doors.
Personally, ride or dies are no longer common and are exceptionally rare. These friends are unwaveringly loyal, supportive, and committed to the friendship through ups and downs of uni life. It is not necessarily someone who will, in literal sense, die for you. No, don't die for anybody, I beg. You've got your whole life ahead of you. In essence, they are the friend who will stay up late with you to study, party, pray, or just talk about life. They are a source of joy, a shoulder to cry on, or just a listening ear. This excerpt from one of our newsletter issues best explains it, and I read: having a supportive group is very key in relationships and community building, and it fosters trust. People that will call you out on your BS and also uplift your spirits. People who will remind you of all that makes you the best person in the world in days you don't feel you are. Rare people that understand you without even having to speak. People who, when you push them away, when you are not okay, too hard on yourself, and are far off in your feelings, will bring you home. People who will love you when you don't. Banger, right? I know. I wrote it. You can check out the full issue and others by myself and other More Than a Pod writers with the link in the show notes. Enjoying the show? Sorry to interrupt your flow, but permits me to tell you about our newsletter. Okay, if you want to stay up to date on all things Answers for Gen Z, as well as curated personal stories, recommendations, and inspiring insights to fuel your journey of personal growth and empowerment, be sure to check out Answers for Gen Z More Than a Pod newsletter. Each weekly release is usually packed with exclusive content and updates on what's next for our community, and you get to know more about me sometimes. It is also an amazing extension of the pod where we do not only dive deeper into our episodes, you also get exclusive access to resources on topics discussed on the show. We also highlight interesting topics around self-discovery, self-growth, and self-actualization. We talk about sports, usually about football, and we also have a very interesting story series that I think you will find worth the read. So head on to the link in the show notes and sign now to join the conversation and stay connected with us beyond the podcast. And yes, it is on Substack. In uni, where relationships can be so intense and all-consuming, a ride or die friend can make all the difference for real, and they can help you navigate the chaos and happy moments of academic and personal life. This brings me to my very last question. What do you think is the most essential part of friendships in university that sets the foundation for lifelong connections and personal growth?
I think it's communication. When you have friends that communicate well. Because I know this because I'm terrible at it and my friends are already complaining, so I'm trying to learn that.
consideration and caring. Yeah, personally, I'm going to really appreciate someone who is considerate and caring, because that's basically all what friendship is about. Someone that's going to consider you, someone who's going to care for you, care about your growth, your well-being. That's it. Communication. Like, we need to talk about this or that. If someone is offended, how do we go about it? Are you just going to swallow it up because you don't want bad energy? Are you going to talk about something that you don't like? Like if I'm a friend of yours and I do something to you that you're unhappy about, I will be very grateful if you can actually speak to me about it. No, there's something that happened. I wasn't really happy. I didn't like this. So that I can be more comfortable knowing what you like and what you do not like.
Honesty is very important in friendship. So you know a situation where one friend started doing better than the other, and they'll be like, hey bro, how you doing this? And some they say, nah God do, nah God do, or you know those kind of scenarios. So sometimes, at least if you want a true genuine friendship, at least still maybe you don't want to tell he or she your source of income, okay, because maybe you're hiding it for some reason, but at least give the person, how will I say this now, give the person a helping hand. At least say, how can I help you, or how do you want to renovate yourself, reinvent yourself, what are you planning to do? Yes, just give him that. And I think that genuineness is better, and is what makes a friendship last for a very long time.
I can't be with someone who do not evolve, someone who's just satisfied with where they are. Like, you don't try to learn new things, you don't try to do new things, you don't try to develop yourself more, you don't try to explore, broaden your horizon. You get me? You don't research. You don't. No, 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 no. And then loyalty. I always hint on loyalty and respect, because I can't have a friend who's not loyal to me, bro. Honestly, loyalty and respect with evolution.
For me, honesty, like I said, 2, selflessness, 3, productivity, right? Because no matter how good a person is, if the person is drawing you back, there's going to be issues, right, with you as a person. And for me, I'm speaking personally now. For me to actually go far with a particular kind of person, the person must be, open to change. You must be willing to evolve, because I am very spontaneous, right? So you should be willing to, you should be open to change. You should be willing to learn. Yeah, you should be willing to learn. And you should be productive. What are you doing? How can I help you? Because I'm a very hardworking person. And the fact that I want to spell you does not mean I'm not available to be spoiled too. So I like when it's reciprocated most times, because I can spend on you and do everything, but then spending on you only will just, make it seem as if it is one-sided, right? Like you have a big child. So no, I don't think a relationship that is not productive, you cannot yield something, not just even monetarily now, like spiritually too. If you're not productive as a person, if you can't, be disciplined to actually set a goal and actually complete it, I can't have anything to do with that kind of person. It can't last long. Maybe I'll just say, okay, for that particular season of my life, because people are in your life for 3 different reasons. 1, for a purpose, which is for a reason. 2 is for a season, and then the third one is just for life. They're just there for life, So yeah, that's it. So what sets the foundation basically is, for me, honesty, selflessness. And in selflessness, there's love too. There's love, there's care, there's affection, there's attention, everything that has to do with that, right? Because you cannot be in a relationship, any type of relationship, with a person who doesn't love you. Okay, so yeah, that too, productivity, and basic mental health well-being. Because if you have mental health issues, if your best friend is somebody who's worse than you are going to turn worse, right? Because it's going to just get so bad between the both of you. I don't personally entertain friends who always talk negative, or you see the worst in situations. Yeah, I can't do that, because sometimes I know that I will still hit some rock bottoms, and then I will need people to uplift me, not people to just tell me, oh, it's over, it has ended, yeah, just forget, look up. Because it's already bad. No, 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 no. That friendship cannot go far. It's not just going to grow well.
In my opinion, I think it's vulnerability and authenticity. Hear me out. I know we love to put up our walls, but when you are willing to be your true self, share your fears, hopes, and dreams with your friends, and be receptive to their vulnerability as well, that's when deep and meaningful connections are formed. I shared a little about this in this issue I talked about earlier from our More Than a Pod newsletter. It's titled Love Me When I Don't. Uni is a time of significant growth, exploration, and self-discovery. And you see, having friends who accept and support you through it can create an unbreakable bond. Vulnerability and authenticity with each other builds trust. It builds empathy and understanding, which are the cornerstone of lifelong friendships. It's just all about creating a safe space where you can be yourself without fear or rejection. It's about embracing each other's quirks, flaws, and imperfections, and also celebrating your unique experiences and perspectives together. These relationships can withstand time, they can withstand distance and life's challenges, even sakpa, and they can become a source of strength, inspiration, and joy for years to come. I'm dropping exclusive bangers now to help your relationship. You still haven't followed or rated the podcast. You still haven't shared. And you're even planning not to even tweet at us or shout us out on IG. Be a good person, for God's sakes. Do the needful, I beg. Okay, so this is where I prepared to drop my mic. So shout out to this episode's contributors for sharing their stories and making this episode a very sweet one. That's Bethel, Ivie, Presley, Janelle, and Israel. Do follow us on our socials for more updates at Answers for Gen Z. That is ANSWERSFORGENZ. If you have good friends, share this episode to them. Listen to it together and talk about it. Cherish them. So I can't even promise I'll be back with a new episode in 2 weeks, but you'll hear from me regardless. I remain Osakpọlọ. Salut. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Answers for Gen Z. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe to the podcast for more conversations that matter. Rate the show and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow. Share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. Comment below if you're listening via Spotify. Comment your thoughts and questions, or you can send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Want to stay up to date on all things Answers for Gen Z? Check out our weekly newsletter for exclusive content and updates. You can also connect with us by following us on social media via our link tree in the show notes or description. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, clarity is just a conversation away. See you in 2 weeks. Or not.